directly to Corey because he was actually the one that got you in the room. So he's going to share some techniques, some strategies he uses, and we want to teach you guys this so you can go out and do the same thing and really crush the Elite Rewards program. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Corey Robert. Take it away, Corey.
All right, thanks, Bob. I just want to check everyone can hear me all right. You guys got me there, Bob?
I hear you loud and clear.
All right, perfect. Well, I won't waste any time here. Let's get started. Calling this Leveraging Facebook for ERP. I'm going to take a little time and talk about getting yourself set up for Facebook advertising, because there's a couple things you need to do before you can start. And then I'm going to take you right through the process of actually getting your own Facebook ad going and promoting your unique affiliate link so you can start earning Black Card bucks or earning more of them. So let's go ahead and get going. So the first big question is why Facebook? We all know there's tons of online methods for advertising.
Hold on.
Did you lose me?
You were the presenter and somebody somehow it got changed, so I'm trying to change you back to the presenter. Can you show your screen?
My screen now?
Now we can, so go ahead.
All right, so like I said, why Facebook? Basically, there's tons of online methods. There's Google, pay-per-click, Twitter, YouTube advertising, blog marketing, content advertising. And one of the big reasons we like Facebook is because it's really some of the cheapest leads you're going to get online. Using some of the stuff we're going to talk about today, you know, we've tested a lot of it. We've been using it for many, many, many months. And it's how we fill a lot of our rooms. And we've really tweaked it down to a system that, you know, we find is really producing some of the cheapest leads we're seeing from online sources that we use. Another big reason is advanced targeting. So a lot of these online methods tend to use...
we lost you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. One of the big reasons is advanced targeting. Basically, Facebook allows you to really narrow down the audience of people that you're targeting with your content, whereas other methods of online marketing are really more of a shotgun approach. You're going to get you're going to hit a lot of groups of people, but they're not all going to be the types of people that you want to see your content. So that's what we like about Facebook. Basically, it's just a combination of inexpensive leads that are qualified, and that's really awesome. That's perfect. That's what we're looking for when we choose a method of advertising. And another thing is the ease of use. Really, just about anyone can utilize Facebook as an advertising tool, as a marketing tool. All of us have Facebook accounts. We've all posted things on our Facebook accounts. And if you've ever posted a single thing on your Facebook account, you're basically 50% of the way through what we're going to talk about today. It's just taking that little next step farther that makes a big difference. And the last thing is it gives maximum control. So it allows for so much testing, adjustments. A large part of what I spend my day doing is actually testing out different small changes on ads, seeing how they perform, and then making adjustments going forward to just constantly lower costs and up our effectiveness. So first things first, you have to have a Facebook page. Now, all of us will probably have a user account, a Facebook page for just our personal use, but we actually have to set up a Facebook page itself, a fan page, in order to run advertisements. So there's a few different things you could set up a page for. First is a business. So if you're a small business owner or entrepreneur, you have your own business or company, I'd highly recommend setting up a Facebook page for that. You should have a Facebook page anyway, even if you aren't going to be running ads. So doing it for a page for your business is definitely something that you can consider. Another thing is for your book. So all of you are here to earn Black Card bucks that you can use towards your Instant Author program. So at this point, you should have some sort of at least a working title. Maybe you have a mock-up cover done. I don't know where you are in the process, but setting up a page for your book specifically is one great type of page that you can use. Last is for yourself. If you're an author, a coach, speaker, trainer, whatever it may be, a page just for yourself is great. For example, you know, we don't have a Black Card Books Facebook page, although we might at some point. We run all our advertisements and all our Facebook marketing through Jerry's page, Jerry Robert fan page. He already has a following. People are already looking for his content, so we're just leveraging that and using it on Facebook for our own purposes. All right, so now we'll show you quickly how to set up a Facebook page. If you already have one, don't worry about this part, but it'll only take a couple minutes. So this is my Facebook page, or sorry, my Facebook homepage when I log into Facebook, and you'll see this little icon down on the left-hand side. It says Create Page. We're going to start there. Very straightforward. Once you click on that, you're going to see a couple different options here. This is the category for your page, so you have to classify your page based on what it is. So is it a business, an organization, a brand, etc. For our purposes, we're going to just choose the entertainment option because we're going to do, for example, a page based around a book. So once you click on that, you're going to see a drop-down. You're going to click on Book in that drop-down menu. You'll see all kinds of options in there. And just for our purposes, I'm going to name it Corey's Facebook page. Then you're going to click Get Started. And you're going to go to step 1 of the 4 steps of setting up your page, getting it ready. So first things first, you got to tell everyone what your page is about. If your page is about your book, give a brief synopsis of your book. If your page is about you, put your bio in there. Very straightforward. You can really put whatever you'd like there. Next is your website. Now, I don't recommend putting your ERP affiliate link in here because that's going to keep changing depending on what event you're promoting. So put a link in here that you want to be more permanent. Wherever you want to drive traffic to from Facebook, that's not your ERP link, whether it be your website, your blog, your Twitter account. It's really up to you there as well. And the last thing in step 1 is your Facebook URL. Now this is pretty important for a Facebook page. Basically, this is the URL that your page is going to be at. So facebook.com/ and whatever you put there. Now I recommend it be something that's fairly short if possible, that's easy to remember, and it's easy to remember without having to write down. Those are some important things for that because you can just pass it out to people that you meet without having to have them memorize it or write it down. So something short and sweet there is great. Next, picture. This is important because once you get to the point of running Facebook ads, your Facebook page, your profile image, and the name of your page are actually going to show up on the top of your Facebook ads. So you want a good quality image, something that's relevant to the page and what it's about, and you want to name your page with a good title because that's the first thing that people are going to see at the top of your ad, and you'll see that in a minute when we get on to actually creating the ad itself. So pick a good image, make it applicable to the page, and even something eye-catching is great too. This is just step 3 is really quick. It's just for your benefit. If you'd like, you click Add to Favorites. It's going to add a quick link to your Facebook fan page on the left-hand side of your Facebook homepage so that you can get to it no matter where you are on Facebook. All right. Now this is probably the most important part. It's the preferred page audience part. And this is more important for how I'm going to come around back to this and talk about this later. But this is very similar, it's almost identical to the targeting that Facebook uses for their advertisements, except this is for your page. So this is like kind of a starter for what we're going to be doing later with targeting in this presentation. So first things up, this is the audience that you would prefer to come and like your page or spend time on your page. So it really depends what the page is about, and these are all going to be up to you to decide. But you should have a good idea of what your target audience is these days, especially when you're coming up with all of the various aspects of your book. This is important to really nail down what your target audience is. So location, you can do countries, states, provinces, cities, even down to zip and postal codes. So it can be very broad to very narrow. And it really depends on what your page is about. If it's for your local business, then maybe you have a much more specific geographic area, maybe a zip code or a city, maybe a province. But if it's something like a book, you're probably going to be having to put several countries in there because you'll be pushing your book to various areas. But you probably want to focus on one country in particular. Next up is the age range. Again, you can go as young as 13 or 14 years of age, I think, all the way up to 65 plus. This is, again, really up to you and really knowing and figuring out what your target audience is. I recommend not making this too narrow, but also making it narrow enough that it's not just every single age range. So generally what we find, at least for promoting events, and we'll talk about this more later, is around the ages of 25 to 65. So, but really no one knows better than you. It's your book, your page, your business, so you know best here. Again, gender, if you have a very gender-specific product or service or book or business, maybe you choose men or women. But generally, if you're choosing just men or women, you're alienating 50% of the people that could, be interested in your page. So only do that if it's absolutely necessary. Last up is interests. So I'll spend a little bit of time talking about this. Basically, how Facebook works is all the information that you input into your profile on Facebook and all the behavior that you display on Facebook is contributing to a running list of interests for you as a profile on Facebook. For example, if I go and or say that I like or I'm a fan of the movie Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I am going to be tagged in the back-end side of Facebook as having interest in action movies. So from then on, I'm going to be listed in that group or grouped with other people that are interested in action movies. So every Facebook profile has a large list of things that profile may be interested in. So, for example, if I was making a page for my ski resort, I would be interested in getting people who are interested in skiing, snowboarding, winter sports, outdoor lifestyle, those types of things. So you really have to figure out who is your target audience and what are the things that they're interested in or what they express interest in on Facebook that would bring them to your page. So we'll show you a little bit more about that when we get around to the ad side. But this is just basically setting up some basic guidelines for your page audience. And take some time here, think about it, and fill it out as you see fit. All right. Now we're going to switch gears a bit, and we're going to go over to our Facebook page and actually start creating an ad. So I will close this really quick. Bob, if you can confirm everyone, if you can see this properly.
Yep, I still can see it, buddy.
Okay, great. I just wanted to double check. So, really quickly, this is our Facebook page. Now you can see here, this is just the one I created really quickly for today's purposes. You'll notice at the top there's a bit of a completion bar here. Just work through all this stuff once you create a Facebook page. They'll walk you through it step by step. Get it. You should have all this information filled out, as much of it as you can. Information about you or your business or your book, whatever the page is about. And you'll see here once you get to 100%, then you'll know your page is in good shape. So first things first, we're going to create an ad, and the way we're going to do the way Facebook has made it really simple to do ads, because not all of us are super technically advanced. Basically, it's just called a boosted post. So you're going to make a post on your Facebook page, and you're going to do what's called boosting the post, and that is going to apply a budget to it, and it's going to force that post out to the target audience that you set for it. So we need some copy to start with. Now, in your ERP Affiliate Center and your Resources Center, you can get your hands on Facebook advertising copy, Facebook images, a list of interests that we recommend for people that we like to target for our Publish a Book and Grow Rich events. And all that stuff's in there for you to use. Now, I recommend using our copy, but making it your own, especially if you already have a bit of a following on a Facebook page. It really helps if you just take our copy and put it more or less into your own words. And, I mean, some of you are probably excellent copywriters. You're great at marketing, and you're going to be able to come up with some great copy. Just for today's example, I'm going to use some of this copy here that we have. Some of it I wrote up today, some of it's existing. So first things first, we're going to take the body of our copy, and we're just going to click in here in the status section, paste the copy in. So this copy says, I'm going to learn how to double my income, get tons of free publicity, and write a book in 40 hours. You can come too. I have a limited supply of free tickets. Get a free ticket to Publish a Book and Grow Rich Bootcamp. Only 18 remaining. So the reason we like this copy and why it works is it's giving 3 big bonus points to people, 3 reasons why they should be interested, and it's creating scarcity. It's saying there's a limited supply, but the tickets are free, and there's only 18 remaining. So that's a powerful message that's going to grab people's attention, and that's why we like it. Next up, you're going to have to add a link. And you'll see here, this is pretty plain. This isn't going to accomplish anything because there's nothing for anyone to do on this. We need a link for them to follow. So this is where you're going to go to your ERP Affiliate Center. You're going to get your specific, unique link so that you can track people through your link and get credit for those people that register. You're going to come here, hit enter a couple times. We'll paste the link in. Now this is the most important part of what's going to become our ad. This is the link preview. So you can see there's an image here, and there's some text and a couple areas here. Basically, this is just pulling images in from our squeeze page. That's our speaker for this event, which happens to be a Los Angeles event I'm using as an example. That's our speaker, Brian. Here's Jerry. This is just pulling images in at random. So, I mean, these images aren't great. They don't really do much for us in terms of an ad or advertising. So what we want to do here is upload a better image, a more powerful image, an image that grabs people's attention more and communicates our message better. So we'll click on Upload Image. Now I have one for us to use here today. Let me just find it really quick. Here we go. All right. So, and in your ERP Affiliate Center, you're going to see a bunch of pre-approved Facebook images, stuff that we like that works. Feel free to try your own out. Come up with your own. If you have a little experience with graphics and stuff, by all means, go ahead and try your luck. But these are some images that we've used to great effect. So for this one today, I'm going to use this one. We call it the Big Crowd image. Some of you on this call might recognize this image a little bit. This is actually from an event in Bucharest we did not too long ago where the room was just absolutely packed. So we like this image because it gives us credibility with the media logos. Jerry and our Publish a Book and Grow Rich Bootcamp have appeared on all these media outlets, so we can use these here because we've appeared on them before. So that's one positive. It gives us credibility. There's even more credibility because there's 300-400 people here in this packed ballroom. So it gives the impression that this is an exciting event. Well, it is an exciting event. It doesn't give the impression. But so that's powerful image. Seeing that many people there responding to this and showing up for an event is fantastic. And then up here, this communicates our message again: free tickets, free admission. So this, all in all, it ticks all the boxes for what we're looking for. Okay, moving down, you see there's 2 areas here of text that we can edit. And you may just say, why don't we just leave it blank or just leave it as it is? But when you have an ad like this, you only have so much real estate. And this is very, very valuable real estate here. And we really, really want to utilize this and take advantage of it. So this line here we call the headline. And right now it just has this URL to the website. But we like to put a nice headline in here that gets people's attention. So have you ever thought of writing a book? Get a free ticket to Publish a Book and Grow Rich. So have you ever thought of writing a book? That's a great headline because it grabs people's attention. If you've been to Publish a Book and Grow Rich, on Friday night, Jerry will usually ask the crowd, how many of you have thought of writing a book before? And inevitably, 80 to 90% of people's hands go up because something pretty much everyone's thought about at some point in their life. So it's a great headline. It gets people's attention. It's something they've thought about before. And then it follows that up immediately with, you can come and learn how to publish a book for free. So that's great. Again, we have more real estate here. What this is doing is just pulling some of the sales copy from the squeeze page itself. And we review all our squeeze page copy, so it's good copy. It's what we have on the page. But again, it's prime real estate for our advertisement. So we want to make it really powerful. So this is something that we've tested several times and we found to work really well for us. We use this warning: space is limited and this live weekend boot camp is almost sold out. This event is only for serious and committed entrepreneurs and business owners. So first and foremost, warning in all caps, that's going to get people's attention all the time. Your eyes will naturally just go there because that's just the way they're built. Again, it reinforces the point of scarcity, that it's almost sold out and space is limited. And then it comes back around with this point, which says this is only for serious people who are serious and committed. And that's good because subconsciously what that does is people in their mind think if they don't go to the page and check this out, that maybe they aren't serious or committed entrepreneurs or business owners. And everyone wants to be thought of as a person who's committed and serious about what they're doing. So it's just these little subtle things throughout that they all add up to an effective message. So there we go. We're very happy with this from top to bottom. That's something you always want to make sure before you go ahead and post that it's perfect, it's the way you want it, because editing it after is either complicated or impossible most of the time. So you're better off just starting from scratch if you post it and there's something that's wrong with it. So I would recommend just be sure before you post it that everything is the way you like it and you have the right link, no spelling mistakes, all that stuff. And I've just gone through this quickly, so we haven't reviewed it as much as I recommend you should, but that's fine for our purposes. So you'll notice there's two buttons, Boost Post and Post. I've run into a lot of problems with boosting the post before we actually post it. So I recommend you don't do that. Go ahead and make the post first, and then we'll boost it after. Just make sure that the post is live and active before we boost it. Sometimes you go in to boost the post and something goes wonky, and then you lose the beautiful post you just spent time creating. So we'll go ahead and click Post. Let's give it a second here. There we go. We see the post is now live on our page. And from here, we can see the Boost Post button. This image isn't loading here. Let me just refresh. Well, anyway, it should load normally, so just ignore that. But normally that image will be loaded. It might just be my internet connection today. All right. Oh, there we go. So from here, we are now going to move into what actually makes this post an advertisement. Right now, it's just a post, and we need to take it to the next level. So we're going to click on Boost Post. Just ignore this red box up here. I use an ad blocker on my browser, so it's just telling me that problems could arise from that. But just ignore that. You won't see that if you don't use an ad blocker. So I'll walk you through this page a bit. On the left here, we have a preview of what the post, which is now going to be an ad, is going to look like when people see it. So this is what they're going to see on their desktop news feed. Basically, this is what they're going to see here. We see all these posts here on our Facebook page and on our home page, our news feed. So that's what it's going to look like there. You can see, as I mentioned before, the image and the page up here at the top. So take some time when you're coming up with both of those because they are important. If someone generally won't look to that first, they'll generally start reading through this content and go to the image first, but then they go back to see who it's from. They are going to go check that a lot of the time. So make sure these two are great. And then if we click on mobile, we can also see what this advertisement is going to look like on a mobile device. So an iPhone, iPad, smartphone, whatever device it may be. Yeah, that's just good to see a preview of what it's going to be like there. Moving on, the first thing we want to do is set up an audience. Now, we talked about audiences before when we were setting up our page, our Facebook page. In this case, what Facebook allows you to do is save audiences to be used again in the future and to edit audiences that you've already saved. This is super valuable because, especially for our purposes, we go back to specific cities 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year. So we don't want to, we want to be able to save our audiences and make changes to it on an ongoing basis. So what I would recommend when you're first starting out, you want to create a new audience to get started. So for our event, this example that I'm doing, it's for an event in Los Angeles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this ERP Test Los Angeles, just so I can get rid of this later. So it's in Los Angeles, so we don't want to send it to everyone in a certain country. We want to narrow it down to a city. So we are going to type in Los Angeles. There it is, Los Angeles, California. And what we want to do, and what we recommend doing, is choosing this option here, plus 25 miles. So basically this means anyone within 25 miles of Los Angeles, or what's considered Los Angeles geographically, those are the people that are gonna start seeing the ad. This is good. We've tested this different distances from cities, and generally we found that about 25 miles, depending on any given city, is generally as far as people are going to be able or be willing to come for an event, a weekend event. So of course, every once in a while you get people that will fly in from different parts of the country or even different countries, especially sometimes when we do events in Europe. But that's not our main focus. You want to send your advertisements to the group with the highest probability to respond. So Los Angeles within 25 miles, that's perfect for our purposes here today. One other thing you could do is you can add multiple cities. So let's say the event's in Los Angeles, but Santa Monica is very close. Maybe we want to pick up some people from Santa Monica too, what have you. So you can add multiples in here. This is great if you're doing more generic Facebook advertising, like for different things that don't apply necessarily in this example, but that's just an option there for you. Again, we talked about age range. For us and for our events, we've narrowed down the age range for Facebook advertising over months and months of testing. We know the types of people that come to our events. We have our target audience basically nailed down at this point. We have had it nailed down for a long time. On Facebook, we get the best response from this age range, 25 to 64. 25 is not too young to where people can't take a weekend off, or they can't commit to coming for a whole weekend. And we find 65 plus, we don't get the best response or show-up rates from, but 64 and under seem to respond very well. So that's what we recommend. Again, all of this is we're just telling you what's successful for us so that you can replicate that for yourself. Feel free to play around and test all this stuff if you want. Again, gender, men and women come to our events. We see no reason to separate or differentiate. The only thing we have tested in the past is doing more specific ads that are specifically for women or for men. So we'll run 2 ads instead of 1 ad, just only to women and one only to men, changing the image and the copy a little bit. Again, feel free to play around with that, but generally we target for pretty much every city. We target both men and women simultaneously. Okay, here we are back with our interests that I mentioned before in the audience, the page audience section, and that you'll get to be able. This is great because you'll be able to see a little bit how it works. So in your ERP Affiliate Center, your Resources Center, we have a list of what we would say are approved Facebook interests. Facebook interests that we've tested, that we like, that generally get the right type of people to see your ads that are going to be more predisposed to click that link and then inevitably register when they get to the page. And I'll just use a few of them off the top of my head just so you can see how this works. Now sometimes you run into trouble here with copy pasting, so I wouldn't copy paste. Pick 5 to 10 interests that you think are the best. And a lot of you are going to be promoting events that are in your home city, so you're going to know even better the types of people that you network with, that you meet with, that you know your clientele, your colleagues. You know them better than anyone, so you're going to know the type of things they're interested in. So as you can see, as we start typing, it starts to populate a list of interests from its database. Now you might find that some aren't in there, and that's fine. You're just going to have to exclude them and choose different ones. So I'll choose entrepreneurship, let's say. That's a pretty good one we like. And it's going to give you suggestions here. So you might find some other ones that are good, like small business is a good one. Maybe business, although that's pretty broad. We like to make it a little more specific. So you're just going to fill in some interests here, and we're going to narrow the targeting a bit more later using one last thing I'm going to show you, which I think is really the big key when it comes to targeting on Facebook, at least for our purposes and for our events. So you're going to fill out these interests. Once you're comfortable with all of this, creating your audience here, and you're comfortable with all the settings, go ahead and click Save. And that's going to save that audience for later use. You can use it again at any time when you're creating a new ad. You can see here there's a drop-down list of all kinds of saved audiences that we have. And so you can go back and you can click edit if you want to edit them again in the future. Next up is your budget. Now this is really going to be up to you to determine how much money you're willing to invest in this. I suggest maybe starting with a little bit of a smaller investment to test the waters, see how it works for you, how you like it, and then move up from there. Gradually step it up as you begin to get more confident with the results. So basically you can see down here. So based on all the criteria we set up here, the maximum potential reach is 1.3 million people. Now that's a lot of people. But we'd have to spend a lot of money in order to reach all 1.3 million people, which is, it's unnecessary. We don't need to reach that many people. So our budget doesn't need to be that high. But you can see, so of that 1.3 million people, for a $26 budget, it's telling us we can reach an estimated number between 5,400 and 14,000 people with this ad. So basically, this is a good point. It says here, increase your budget or narrow your audience if you want to reach more people that you care about. So it's kind of a sliding scale, right? You can increase the budget or narrow the audience. Both are going to have an effect on the amount of people you reach with a particular advertisement. All right, moving on. For the budget here, you're going to click this drop down. Now you're going to see several different suggestions for types of budgets. It'll give you these 4 options, and it kind of gives you an impression about how many people you're going to reach, an estimation anyway, based on how much you spend. What we always do is we choose our own budget. We don't pick one of those prefixed ones. If one of those happens to fit your fancy, then go ahead and choose one of those, but we always like to choose our own amount. So just for our example today, I'm just going to go with a simple $10. But again, the budget's really up to you. Some of our Facebook ads, we end up spending anywhere between $200 and $500 a day. If the response is really good from them, we can get up to that much in terms of spending. But for your purposes, don't feel like you have to commit a massive budget to it. You just do it as you see fit and as much as it makes sense for you. So for example, we'll do $10. And you can see here, even for $10, that estimated reach is still 3,700 to 9,800 people. Like, that's a lot of people that are going to see our ads. So for only a small investment of $10, we're just going to set this ad and forget about it, and it's just going to, this advertising is just going to happen, while we sleep or watch TV. So it's just a really great tool. I'm glad that you're all getting to learn how to use it, because it's really effective. Next is your duration. So the post duration is just what it is, just what it says, how long this is going to run for. And you can see here if we select, it's between 1 and 7 days. So if we select 7 days, for example, that means it's going to spend our $10 over those 7 days at about $1.43 per day. So again, the budget's up to you. We find that a lot of our Facebook campaigns, we start them anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks in advance of an event, because we need to get a lot of registrations in order to get maximum amount of people to show up. So we like to give ourselves a lot of lead time. But for your purposes, maybe you start in a smaller range, maybe 2 to 4 weeks out. We find since it is a weekend event, it's a bit of a time commitment, and it's worth every second of time, we think. But it is a time commitment, so maybe doing it about a week or anything under 10 days in advance is tough. You'll notice that people might click your ad, but they're not going to register because it's just too short notice for them to commit a weekend. A lot of people book their weekends, weeks in advance. So anywhere between like the two, let's say between 2 and 4 weeks is really your prime time for this type of stuff. So, but you can set the duration here, and again, that's up to you. If you have a really small budget, like if you're going to go with $10, let's say, maybe you go 1 day or 2 days. You start getting up around $100, then I would start spreading it out to 4 or 5 days, and then anything beyond that, go for the 6 or 7 days. But again, totally up to you. See what works for you and what you're comfortable with. Last down here is the payment section. I'm not going to scroll down just to avoid showing you our payment methods. They do take, I believe, PayPal and also major credit cards. So you can set that up, and it's really easy. It just charges you right off, and it's not a problem at all. Once you're done with that, you're going to click Boost, and that's going to save all your settings here, save your post, and there you go. It's boosted the post. You'll see that the order has been placed. It's in review, and then it will be approved. So the way Facebook works is all the ads go through a review process. Basically, it's just to prevent scams or malicious content, anything that shouldn't be up there. So they're going to review the copy and the image and also what you're linking off to. We've never had an issue with this. Everything's generally approved. The only thing that you need to watch is if you're doing your own sort of images, you're only allowed 20% of this Facebook image can be text. Now, this doesn't include logos. Like you can see, Wall Street Journal is a bunch of text, but it's a logo for Wall Street Journal, so they don't consider that to be part of your 20% text. But this part up here, free admission, that is text that they would count against you. So maximum 20% of the image can be covered by text, so keep that in mind when you are creating your own Facebook ad images or finding your own images that you want to use. Basically, then you just review all this information here, your targeting, your payment, and then you can click OK. You'll see here it says boosted for $10. If you click back here, again, it's just going to show the same information. So you can always come back here and review that or make changes. All right, so there we go. We have a boosted ad. This is going to run now to our target audience over the period we've set for the amount we've said, and that's essentially it. From here, there's a couple last little things I want to show you that really take it to the next level. So we're going to go back to our news feed, our home page, and we're going to click on this little icon up here you'll see in the top left. It's the Ads Manager section. When I go in here, you're going to see all the various campaigns. So you can see this is all active stuff that we're running right now. This is a lot of past stuff in here. These are our campaigns. You're going to click on this little tab right here, Ads, and that's going to show you the specific advertisements that you're running, not just the full campaigns. And again, I'm just showing you a very basic level of this stuff. You can get very, very advanced with this. There's all this stuff on the side with customization. The Power Editor is an extremely powerful way of getting deeper and deeper into Facebook advertising. But everything I've covered today is all you're really going to need to see results. So we can see here, this is our post that is active. We just posted it here. We can see there's no engagements yet or clicks or anything. It just started running, so it hasn't even spent any of our budget yet. But if we go ahead and click on it, we can see here again, it's a review of everything we've covered. So here's a preview again of the ad. In this section, if you click on Edit, and this is the creative portion, so you can go in and look at the creative again and see what it looks like in the mobile feed and all that. So that's good. And then here is the last thing I want to spend a little bit of time on, and this is the targeting again and the placement and optimization. So if we go ahead and click on that under targeting, it's going to bring up this section here with the cog wheel. You'll see this is the status of the ad, the performance of the ad, and this here is the budget, schedule, and optimization, targeting, and placement. So if you ever want to make changes to the budget or schedule, here's where you do it. You're just going to click Edit under Budget there, and you're going to see you can set an end date for it. So this gives you just a little bit more control. When you're doing it on the post itself, you saw it was 1 to 7 days. Here we can take it a little farther if we want, right? We can get a little more specific about when we want it to end, but we can make it run longer than 7 days. We can make it run for 2 weeks if we want, and we can end it at a very specific time. So this is a good feature. I would recommend coming into the Ads Manager, definitely making some changes in here yourself. Now, here is very, very important point. right here, you see this is the optimization. You don't get a chance to edit this when you're boosting the post on the page itself. You have to come into the Ads Manager, like I've just shown you, and come in and edit the optimization here. Right now, it's optimizing the post for post engagement. So this is not exactly what we want. This is going to optimize it for people who are likely to like the ad or leave a comment on it. And while that stuff's good, that stuff's going to happen anyway. When people see stuff, they react to it. So we don't want to optimize for that. We want to optimize for clicks. We want people to click through to our squeeze page, because there is where they get all the really good information, and that's where they can sign up. That's where we want to drive them. So we don't want to optimize for people that are likely to engage with our posts. We want to serve ads to people who are more likely to click on our ads. So we optimize for clicks, and then we have the pricing. So this option right here is get more clicks at the best price. And that's fine. That's great, but that doesn't give us the amount of control we want. We want maximum control here. So if you're comfortable with that, that's fine. This is just a way you can check that. It's going to get the best price it can. You don't have to think about it. But that's easier, but it's less effective. What we want is to set the max price per click. So if we click on set the max price here, it's going to let us choose. Now what I recommend, you don't have to follow this, but what we recommend is basically you're bidding for clicks against everyone else running ads to the same audience as you. So you're going to need to outbid people so that your ad is shown instead of someone else's ad. So what I recommend you do, you see this range down here at the bottom. You see that the suggested bid for based on our targeting is 35 cents to 94 cents per click. So what we recommend doing and what works to win the bids for clicks more often than not is taking the maximum end of this, which is 94 cents, multiplying it by 2, so doubling it, which comes to $1.88, and then adding 1 cent. That's a little trick that we've employed that we find works really well. So what we're saying here is we're willing to pay $1.89. That's the most we're willing to pay per click. Generally, the clicks are always going to come in cheaper than that, much cheaper than that. But this is just the maximum we're willing to pay. Usually it's going to be much less than half of that cost. And the reason we add the 1 cent is because a lot of people come in here and they just put the double of the max. But if we put the double of the max plus 1 cent, we beat them out. We end up beating out a lot of people on the bidding for just 1 cent more. So it's well worth it. I recommend doing that. But again, feel free to just click get more clicks at the best price. And that's going to just take care of all of this for you, and you don't have to worry about it. But for us, we like to control every aspect, so we go with that. So yeah, that's what I recommend for optimization and pricing. Again, you can't make these changes on the post itself. You have to come into the Ads Manager. Again, if you click on targeting up here at the top, you can see all the targeting we've set for this ad. Here's our interests, our age range, all that. One last thing, and this might be the most important thing in terms of setting your targeting up properly, is the behaviors. Now, you'll see in these behaviors there's a bunch of different things. Digital activities, are they console gamers, event creators, do they make payments on Facebook, what operating system do they use? We don't worry about any of that stuff. There's one behavior in here that is by far the most powerful and the most effective when it comes to narrowing down a target audience that is predisposed to want to come to our event, and that is small business owners. You can see there's 51.6 million small business owners on Facebook. These are people who list themselves as small business owners or who own a small business Facebook page. These are the prime candidates. Many of you on this very call right now are in our events because you have expressed on Facebook that you're a small business owner in a city that we were going to. And that is how we've targeted you with advertising, and you found out about our event. So, very, very important. Come into after you've made the post, after you've boosted the post, come into the Ads Manager, come to the targeting, edit the targeting again, and add small business owners. So you can see now our potential reach is 198,000. You say, well, that's not good. It went from 1.3 million down to 198,000. What you have to keep in mind is that is really good, because what we've done now is we've removed all the people that don't really fit our target audience. Small business owners that are in our geographic location with the right age range, that's exactly what we're looking for. This is the cream of the crop for us in terms of ad performance and people that are likely to click and register for our event. So make sure you come in and add that. That's got to be one of the most important parts of this entire thing. So yes, our potential reach is smaller, but it's still 200,000, which is tons and tons of people. And now we're reaching only the best, most likely to respond people. Scrolling down, one last thing I'll mention, you'll see there's placements. These are different places you can place your ads. So mobile newsfeed, desktop newsfeed, and desktop right column. Through extensive testing, we've discovered that desktop right column is bad. These perform terribly. Everyone knows that the right column of your Facebook page is just filled with a bunch of ads that you don't really care about. Our brain just learns to ignore areas on web pages we're on constantly. We're on Facebook a lot. We know that right column is advertising, so we don't look there. So we keep it to the news feed, both mobile and desktop, because a lot of Facebook users are all mobile now. So yeah, that's the targeting. Keep that in mind for all these here, and you got to make sure you click Save so that those changes have been saved. You'll get confirmation, and there you have it. Again, from here we can edit the budget quickly, the date range, all that stuff, and so you can see, like for our $10 now, the estimated reach has gone significantly down, but you're only going to be reaching the people that are the cream of the crop, as I said before, the exact perfect people you want who are likely to respond. And then it's just a matter of walking your budget up to what you're comfortable with. Again, last thing I'll just mention here is, feel free to come in here. You can check the performance of your ad. It's going to tell you about the post engagements, the costs, how many clicks you're getting, what the click-through rate is, how relevant your advertisement is. So it's going to give it a relevance score. If people click to hide your ad, or don't like your ad, or leave feedback for your ad that's negative, that's going to affect your relevance score. If they like it and they leave comments and positive feedback you get for the ad, then your relevance score is going to go up. So you want to keep that relevance score as high as possible. A lot of times it is going to be low on the lower end. It's on a 1 to 10 scale, but that's natural, just because some people, when they see advertisements, they get really angry about it. So it's unavoidable. But try and keep this as high as you can, and the best way to do that is by changing the copy and the image here to be a little bit more appealing, a little bit more friendly, and a little bit less salesy. And then here you'll be able to see, here's your max bid, how much you've spent total, how much you spent today, and what the average price is that you're paying for a click. And then here you get a visual breakdown of the day by day, how many impressions, your relevance score, and clicks, etc. Again, your relevance score won't be calculated until your ads have actually been running for a little while. So that is essentially all I wanted to share with you today. I think Facebook is an extremely powerful tool. If you leverage it and you follow the steps that we've discussed here today, I know you're going to see results, because we're seeing results, and we're not doing anything too much more complicated than what I've shown you here today. So if you have any questions, please send an email to erp@blackcardbooks.com. They're going to be able to direct your questions the best. All of the stuff I discussed today in terms of content, images, all that stuff is in your resource center. If you're having trouble finding any of that, or you need specific links to it, if stuff isn't working for you, again, send an email to erp@blackcardbooks.com, and they will point you in the right direction. I want to thank you all for coming on today. I believe we've recorded this, so we have it for future reference and future use. So don't feel like you have to have soaked all this in and have it all memorized just from hearing it one time. It's taken me years and months and years to figure all this stuff out and figure out what works for us. So it's a bit of a learning process, but once you get it down, it should really be humming for you. Anyway, that's it for me, Bob.
Perfect. And yeah, I think we're going to these will be posted in the ERP training session here in the next probably by the end of the week. So thanks so much, Corey. Just now you got to do it, right? Now just go through the process. You may make some mistakes, but just follow the process that's outlined here. And good luck, everybody. We look forward to seeing you next week we'll be talking about the JV process. So I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Thanks again, Corey, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.